Okay, we are on processing. We're going to YouTube today. So we are on air on YouTube. So we have to start our discussions today. So this is very sexy, very hot topic. So by the way, we have a bilingual discussion today. We discuss about books, which is bestseller book, yeah, bestseller book. The title is Inferno, and our speakers today is very amazing woman. Okay, I would like to introduce her before. She is. Will open her CV first. She is Asya Cecilia Sharon Haryanto. She is student in Binus International School. Then she is outstanding academic achievement in Pancasila and Civic Studies and so many competition she won. And also World Mathematics Invitational participant, and also I guess international competition and assessment for school mathematics participant. Asian Mathematics Olympiad bronze medalist. But you are so comprehensive, so comprehensive. You like to read books, and also you have a good known in math. So we come out to our discussion today. Inferno to Miss Asya Cecilia Sharon Haryanto. Time is yours.
So yeah, hi everyone. As you've already known probably, my name is Sharon, and today I will be discussing a book by Dan Brown titled Inferno. So I've personally first discovered this book in grade 7. So it's like 3 years ago. So I'm sorry if I remember some of the plot like I can't remember it maybe because it's been so long since I last read it. So my teacher first introduced this book to me, and actually I didn't read it until like a few months after she introduced it to me. But I remember this is actually the first book by Dan Brown that I read, and I instantly fell in love with his writing because he seems like a really daring person. Like he likes to bring up topics that might spark arguments in the public, and like actually some of his books are like known to be problematic to the point that some group of people actually ban his book. Like it's forbidden to be read by some group of people. But I think that's just a charming point of him. Like he has the guts to like bring up very sensitive topics. For this book, it actually mainly brings up the issue of overpopulation. As you all probably know, we have like around 7 to 8 billion people in this world, and it's beginning to look like we have way too much people in this world. And actually, some scientists are doing research on how we can control the population and like predictions on the number of world population in the coming probably 100 years. But this book, it explains like the possible like solution to overpopulation. So this book, I'll just explain the overall synopsis of this book. So it starts with the main protagonist, Robert Langdon, waking up in a hospital bed, and suddenly everything around him just turned into chaos. So he met a female doctor called Sienna Brooks, and he was scouted by the World Health Organization to help figure out the location of a possibly rapidly spreading man-made virus. But actually, it requires a huge involvement of the World Health Organization, right? Because it can cause like a pandemic if it's not like controlled properly. And uh, they actually involved Robert Langdon because he's his character is an expert in symbologist, and the man who made the virus involved a lot of codes and like riddles from a literature work by Dante Alighieri called The Divine Comedy. So through that poem, they discovered the location of the virus, and the virus turned out to already spread in the world, and it turns out to be it's like a biotechnology applied in the virus. It's called a viral vector, in which it's like a modified virus that transport like genetic information that modifies the cell basically. So this virus makes like a natural selection on the world population. So it makes like 1/3 of the population sterile. Yeah, that's the overview of the novel basically.
Okay, Sharon. Inverno means like have synonym with hell, right? Some people use the termination of inverno uh, uh, in Italy. They say uh, woman is the inverno in ice, inverno in ice, uh, heaven in ice, but inverno in heart. So
Mm.
what makes this novel use determination of inverno?
Um, I think it's like mm,
Because
maybe
of overpopulation.
they use like the metaphor of hell, referring to this world in general, right? Like it's how do I word this? Like maybe with the existence of the virus, it's like this world can turn out to be a living hell, right? Because no one knows how the virus will react. So it might turn out to be um to create a new problem in the world, but then um in actually Inferno in the like in the actual literature work, it's not only Inferno, there's also Paradise. So it might like turn out the two opposite sides, right? It's just Inferno is just a possibility on how the world might turn out. So it's like a metaphorical like comparison, I guess.
Okay, so yeah, that is only metaphor, right? Can you tell me about the? Can you tell us our viewers also about uh, how the story going on?
Um, uh, So about the plot or what?
Yeah, about plot, about how the conflict began, how they solve the conflict, and how is anticlimax.
Uh, so actually, this book, as I have explained earlier, it starts with the main protagonist suddenly waking up in the middle of a hospital in Florence. He doesn't know how he turned out to be there, and then so I think the beginning of the conflict is the fact that the main male protagonist, Robert Langdon, actually possesses like a cylindrical tube. He doesn't know that he has it, but it's like slipped on in his tweed jacket, and that cylinder is actually sought by a lot of people. Like so, a lot of people are searching for it, and then so people start attacking him because they know he has the cylindrical tube. So he met the female doctor called Sienna Brooks, who will actually be the partner to help him until the end of the book. So basically, Sienna helps him like escape from the people running after him, and then from actually Sienna helped him like figure out what the cylinder means, and it actually serves as the first hint to the mission he received from the World Health Organization. So from there, he like received contact from the director of the World Health Organization, but Sienna doesn't trust her with the mission because actually Sienna knows the man who made the virus personally, but then they can't also ask help from him because the man actually committed suicide before he disclosed his mission to the world. So it's like meant to be a mystery that he already planned to reveal. So it basically revolves around them figuring out clues, especially in reference to the literature work Inferno by the Italian like writer. Yeah. So a lot of the hints given by the man who made the virus actually are verses from the poem, and it leads them to like certain places that can help them figure out the hints again. So I think the climax of this book is, oh, this might be a little spoiling, but it's when Sienna decided to leave Langdon and everyone behind and just searched for the virus by herself. I think this is a really like realistic thing to do, right? Because even though she feels a personal attachment to Robert Langdon, they just like only met for like 1 day, so she can't really trust anyone with this, especially because this virus is made by someone she personally knew. So it might seem like she turned out to be an antagonist, but if we see the resolution of the story, it's she's actually not. She's just trying to find the virus faster because it's like if you work with a huge organization like the World Health Organization, you need to go through a lot of process to actually be able to like search for it, right? Like you need to go through the director and then like everyone under her. So it's gonna be faster if she just runs away by herself. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, so interesting. Then, in your perspective, do you have, can you see the similarity in our situation today?
Um, I think like the part where I think the most like relevant thing from the book is how people just don't like trust other people easily, right? Because one, it's not just about emotions, but it's like dangerous too, right? If you just met someone and then you trust them directly, it's kind of risky, I have to say. So I think it's a really valid like emotion that she feels, that she just decides to like do everything by herself instead of trusting people, especially if it's like something this important, right? It might affect like everyone. And other than the emotions, I think um actually the very reason why I decided to read this book is because I have the same concern about overpopulation.
Okay.
So um actually, maybe now I'm not as concerned because it's predicted that the world population will eventually decrease, right? But back then, like 3 years ago, I was I was actually really interested in this topic, and this book actually like opens makes me open my eyes to a new possible solution to overpopulation, because in a way this type of virus is like silent, right? You don't even know if you're infected, and it just works really silently. You can't even see the reaction. And um some people maybe may see this as like bioterrorism or a violation of human rights because they don't get to like reproduce. But then the virus also like does a natural selection, right? Maybe it's spread quickly and it gets to everyone, but again, only a random one third of the population becomes sterile. So I guess it's a harmless way to control the population. Not that I completely agree with how it's done, but I guess it might happen, like yeah, especially with now with like advanced technology, some people might actually be working on a virus like this right now.
Okay. What make you interesting on biotechnology, on the biomolecular? I can conclude like that because I hear your presentation previously.
Yeah, I quite like biotechnology and microbiology, like those type of things, because I think it's really interesting how like really tiny organisms like viruses can really like manipulate the DNA of our cells and really change a condition in our body. Like for example, in this novel, one one cell of virus can manipulate your reproductive cells to make it like sterile. I think it's really cool, right? Like it's only like one really tiny thing. It's not even like a medical procedure, but it's just the infection of one virus, and it can really change your life. Yeah.
Yeah, that is similarity in our situation today, right? Then, in international politics, and also international economy, biotechnology and also chemical weapon, biological weapon, uh, are the potential good point in international relations also.
Then it also depends on how it's used, right? Because um in the beginning of the COVID pandemic, there was like a conspiracy theory going on that the virus was actually like purposely released to the world. I think it depends on how it's used, right? Because in a way, like um, biological and chemical weapons maybe it won't cause as huge of a damage compared to previous types of like maybe nuclear weapons, because they nuclear weapons cause really huge damage, right? It might be a quote unquote safer weapon, but then it's still a weapon. So it depends on who uses it and how it's used, right?
Okay. Then can you see the code in this novel?
Sorry.
Because this is Da Vinci Code novel, right? Can you
Yeah, it's in the same
found,
series. Yeah,
yeah, but can you found the code inside this book?
actually, in the Da Vinci Code, they use obviously Leonardo da Vinci's like artworks, right? Like the Mona Lisa, the Last Supper, like those kind of things. But in this book, they actually chose like they use quotes from the poem by Dante Alighieri. It's titled the same, like Inferno. That's which is mostly why the book is titled Inferno, right? So I think the thing that I was really impressed was how they like incorporated the verses of the poem into like finding the hints for the place. I think people who have read Dan Brown novels will know this, but they usually, I mean, he usually uses, like, for example, there's like a verse in the poem. They take like random letters in the verse and then they use the letters to like make the word of a place. Like, it really makes you think
Okay.
like while reading it. So yeah, that's also why I really like his novels.
Yeah, you like mystery, right?
Yes.
I can conclude like that. Then, if you have a chance to be a very powerful woman in the world, what is solution in overpopulation?
um I think this is what I personally think, but for me, every problem in this world can be solved through education.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think the biggest problem right now is people aren't educated about like sex education, so they like can I mix in Indonesian?
Yeah.
Kayak istilahnya orang itu punya anak itu nggak di planning gitu loh. Kayak apa sebenarnya nggak siap punya anak tapi punya anak, dan itu tuh bukan cuma nambah-nambahin populasi aja kan, cuma anaknya juga jadi nggak keurus. Terus sampai sekarang walaupun ada kayak program kayak KB gitu, tapi orang-orang masih punya banyak anak walaupun mereka nggak bisa handle sebenarnya. Jadi um, kayaknya kalau di-educate, orang-orang tuh bakal bisa lebih planning tentang punya anak, tunggu siap, dan di planning jumlahnya gitu deh, supaya nggak terlalu banyak juga.
Oke, so mereka harus secara proporsional menyesuaikan dengan kebutuhan ekonomi, dengan taraf ekonomi.
Kemampuan, iya.
Then, very interesting our discussion today, our bilingual discussion. There are 13, 13 viewers.
Wih.
Viewers. You can call your friend maybe, Asya, because I can
Hi guys.
see our viewers. Then, right now you are semester 6, right?
Oh wait, I'm in semester 2 of grade 10 high school. Yes.
Oh, 10 high school, right?
Yes.
Uh, I have heard you read this book in
Grade 7, yes.
grade 7.
Yeah.
Uh, in this semester, do you interesting to read this book again?
Yeah, I actually, in grade 7, it was kind of hard for me to understand the overall plot because, yeah, I was just a seventh grader. There were a lot of things from this book that I haven't studied in school. So I had to like open Google to like actually search about what certain like biological terms mean. But now that I've learned more, I think if I reread this book again, I will be able to like understand it better. And I've actually also read some parts of the original poem. So I'm planning on rereading not only this book but also other Dan Brown books from this series, because yeah, I think I can relate to the story more, and I can like understand it more now.
In your perspective, how can Dan Brown make the story like important?
Oh, I think he's just a really smart person, like, and he has a lot of interests, right? We can see how his book like takes on different themes, not only like from science but also religion and art, like it's not it's like Renaissance era art.
Yeah,
So he has also a huge interest in those kind of things, and he just has a way to, like, I guess, incorporate some conspiracy theories, especially those about religion, to make his books interesting. I think that's also the main reason why some religious groups actually like ban his books to be read, because even though it's fictional, it's kind of a daring move because it might like I guess offend the teaching of some groups, like some religious groups. Yeah.
what kind of people that reject this book?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Uh, what kind of people that reject this book?
Um, from what I know, um, I think the Roman Catholic Church actually like banned his book called Angels and Demons, because that book actually kind of um, takes on Christianity as the main theme. And I guess because it's also a best-selling book, it makes the old like conspiracy theories like out again in the world. So it might be kind of disturbing for their group. Yeah, which I understand. So yeah, they banned it.
Because of criticism of Roman Catholic Church, maybe.
Maybe. I am not sure actually with the reason, but it might look like a threat basically to some groups. I think the same thing happened with his most recent novel in the series, which I was actually supposed to discuss, called Origin. Um, it takes on like not only one specific religious group, but I think he's kind of attacking like all religious people in the novel, which is why like
Yeah,
it causes like conflicts bit among the readers, but I still enjoyed reading it.
attacking a lot of religious group.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, very nice discussion about this book, right? And then, mm, how about Inferno? Inferno is safe to discuss, right?
Yeah, at least it doesn't attack like a big like religious group. I mean, mostly this book is, I think it's the least problematic one among the five novels in his series, because it only adapts like scientific facts with like added fictional stuff. But I think it's also at the same time the closest to being a nonfiction book, because not only that it's realistic, but it's also um, you can't really manipulate scientific facts, right? Because they're facts, so you can't really manipulate it. Which is different to religion, because basically everyone has different beliefs. So he can like kind of aggravate some groups, I guess. But with science, it's just um, a fixed fact. So you can't really argue on this, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. But in this book, who actually attacked by this idea? In this book, Inverno.
Mm, I guess in a way. Oh wow, I'm also gonna offend some people by saying this, but um, I guess
Sorry.
some human rights activist actually kind of opposes the general idea of this book because, as I said earlier, some people might see it as like bioterrorism, right? The use of biotechnology to affect everyone in the world.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty dangerous. I kind of agree, but as I said, if we don't like find a solution to overpopulation, instead of just like making 1/3 of them infertile, we might actually lose the whole species. So I'm also kind of divided on my stance on this topic because I agree that it's kind of like violating human rights, but it's it's probably the safest idea to execute to control the population.
Yeah, in science, we know the theory of Malthus that said the the growth of population, human population, is 2 times or 4 times faster than uh, food regeneration.
Yeah, yeah, that's why. Like, if we have way too much people than what our Earth can actually like if it goes over the capacity, um, like actually we can already see it now. Like, we are starting. It's starting to get hard for us to like obtain natural resources like oil, natural gas, like those kind of things, even clean water, right? And the rise in population also affects the climate, like global warming, those kind of things. And it might not seem like a big problem right now, but it's gonna cause a huge change in the world in the coming generations. So yeah, it's a really dire issue right now.
So, how your opinion about Mars or space exploration? Because
Hmm.
refer to our biological theory previously.
um, Technically, everything like anything is possible right now. We're in the process of researching also, right? Like Elon Musk,
Elon Musk.
SpaceX. Yes. um, Looking at the progress in the research and technology right now, it might be a possible um like solution. So it's the Earth might not be the only place we can live on, especially with space exploration. They already discovered planets that are similar in conditions to Earth, right?
Yeah,
So, oh, I've actually also watched a movie about like moving people from Earth to another planet.
yeah, such
Uh,
as interstellar and
I watched a movie called Passengers.
yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, it's actually a pretty interesting idea. I mean, so far, we haven't really like found the planet with like perfect conditions, and I think even if we do, it's gonna be like really far away from us, and it takes like I don't know millions of light years of travel. So, well, it doesn't close the possibility, but for now, I guess there's nothing fixed. Yeah.
Um, yeah, in this book in Inverno, uh, do you found the solution of renewable energy maybe or sustainable development
Mm,
to controlling overpopulation?
I think in this book they don't like really go deep into the actual problems caused by overpopulation. Actually, they're trying to fix the problems by reducing the population, right?
Okay.
Um, but well, I actually haven't researched on like alternative sources of energy, but I think they're developing um like technologies to create energy from like biological substances. I'm not really sure. Yeah. But it's gonna be like a safer and more sustainable and more eco-friendly source of energy compared to like nuclear energy or coal or natural gas, like those type of stuff.
Do you have idea in uh, green economy maybe?
um I don't think so. I'm not I'm actually not sure for now, but I don't think so. Yeah.
Okay. So this book actually fix the problem of biologically, right? Okay. And then uh, so after this, after you read Inverno, what kind of books you want to read in Da Vinci Code?
Oh, I've read all of his books from the series. Yeah, but I'm actually waiting for him to publish a new book, which he actually has on process right now, I guess. But um, actually, this book is like the fourth book in the series, so I read it in the wrong order actually. But yeah, read after I bought this book, I fell in love with the way he writes, so I read the rest of his book. And actually, there's an Indonesian writer who is, I guess, as daring and has a writing style that is as good as him. I think you know this person. Um, the Indonesian writer's name is D. Lestari,
Yeah.
the writer of Aroma Karsa or Philosophy Kopi,
Uh,
if you know. Her series called Supernova. Actually, almost all of them also brings up like scientific topics, and her books are also quite fun, but I haven't read all of them. But I'm still finding out other writers that have similar topics to Dan Brown, I guess. Yeah.
okay. What is your testimony to Indonesian author?
Oh, some people think Indonesian works aren't as good as international works, but that's not true because I personally read novels in English, in Indonesian, and in Korean. And I must say, Indonesian novels can compete with international novels because actually we have a lot of novels with very unique themes. For example, novels by Pramudia Anantatur. It's really unique to our country, right? I mean, people from other countries can't write books with those topics. So there are a lot of really good Indonesian writers, but some people just have like a mindset that everything from other countries is just better. So I think people need to start like exploring Indonesian literature works. Yeah.
Yeah, we have to realize our country is big and we have a lot of intellectual properties.
Yes.
Actually, yeah, I have story to with my friend my friend from Belgium. Yeah, I gave her the book of Bumi Manusia novel Pramudia Anantatur.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and she's so impressed to that novel.
Yeah, actually, like, Indonesian writers are also like really daring on taking up like social issues to put like to incorporate in their writing. Kayak um, buat tulisan-tulisannya Pramudia Anantatur itu jadi kontroversi pada masanya gitu kan. Kayak sampai buku-buku Pak Pram itu nggak boleh dibaca pas zamannya Orde Baru kan kalau nggak salah. Itu jadi maksudnya seberani itu loh mereka ngambil topik sampai-sampai pemerintah aja takut gitu sama topik-topik kayak gitu. Jadi sebenarnya buku-buku yang kayak gitu tuh yang harus dieksplor karena artinya sebenarnya bukunya itu topiknya itu interesting dan kayak istilahnya sampai orang-orang itu coba nutupin story di belakang cerita itu gitu loh.
Ya. So kita harus menggelorakan gagasan Gardanas bahwa kita harus menggelorakan gerakan kesadaran nasional bahwa Indonesia memiliki kekayaan intelektual dan kekayaan alam yang tidak kalah dengan negeri-negeri manapun di dunia ini.
Iya, apalagi kan kita juga sejarahnya banyak banget kan.
Benar. Kalau bahasa Mas Heri itu kita harus bisa mengexcavate the missing link in our story.
Yes. Aduh.
Ya, kalau kata Mas Heri itu sebelum Kuta itu pasti masih masih ada sejarah-sejarah yang belum terungkap.
Iya. Bahkan sampai sekarang aja, yang akhir-akhir ini lagi heboh itu, yang masalah kerja paksa pas zaman Belanda itu kan kita juga masih dalam proses istilahnya menggali sejarah lagi kan, yang selama ini kita diajarin di buku-buku sejarah itu sebenarnya bisa aja bukan the truth kan. Jadi sampai sekarang aja kita tuh masih nge-explore sejarah kita gitu. Jadi kayaknya ya walaupun aku tuh lebih kayak interested kayak ke science, tapi I think history lessons are also like really important to learn. So aku juga akhir-akhir ini lagi banyak nge-research tentang sejarah lagi.
Yeah. Cool. Then kita memasuki ke masa di mana Indonesia sudah seharusnya menjadi negara yang bisa menyebarkan Nusantara Wave. Nusantara Wave, it's unlike the Korea. This is our Nusantara Wave, not only in culture, right, but also in political and economy. So, pandangan kamu suka Korea nggak kira-kira?
Iya.
Menurut kamu Indonesia bisa nggak sih dapat kesempatan bisa jadi negara yang bikin Nusantara Wave dan spread Nusantara Wave ke seluruh dunia?
Sebenarnya bisa ya, dan tapi kayak misalnya kalau dari sisi musik itu marketingnya itu harus jago dan targetnya itu harus tepat gitu loh. Kayak buat K-pop itu aku tuh mulai kepincut sama K-pop itu karena di timingnya itu kayak timing promosinya itu kayak pas banget gitu loh, dan memang ditargetinnya ke audiens yang spesifik gitu kan. Dan wah, ini juga controversial sih, tapi I feel like Indonesians should stop kayak ngasih panggung ke orang yang don't deserve it gitu. Jadi itu tuh bikin apa sih kayak artis-artis yang beneran bisa go international itu jadi ketutup sama mereka yang sebenarnya istilahnya cuma nyari perhatian doang gitu loh. Dan itu malah kayak nge-shade buat negara kita juga. Jadi malah yang benar-benar berpotensial itu malah kayak ketutup sama bayangan mereka yang lebih terkenal gitu. Dan kayaknya orang Indonesia juga harusnya lebih banyak promosiin kayak karya-karya lokal, kayak band-band yang karyanya bagus tapi istilahnya kayaknya kalau anak muda sekarang bilangnya tuh underrated ya. Jadi kayak underappreciated gitu. Harusnya lebih banyak dipromosiin gitu sih. Dan sebenarnya kita juga bisa nge-spread Nusantara Wave itu bukan cuma lewat kayak karya musik gitu-gitu doang kan. Kayak sebenarnya banyak juga buku-buku karya orang-orang Indonesia yang udah terkenal dan sampai ditranslate ke banyak bahasa di luar negeri. Kayaknya contoh paling besarnya itu Laskar Pelangi deh.
Oke, iya.
Itu Laskar Pelangi kan benar-benar terkenal banget kan, sampai ditranslate kayak berapa puluh 100 lebih bahasa kayaknya. Bahkan sampai di negara-negara lain juga itu jadi novel bestseller. Itu tuh udah jadi istilahnya itu Laskar Pelangi itu udah buka jalan kan buat karya-karya Indonesia yang lain buat bisa ngikutin path kayak gitu buat go internasional. Kayaknya novelnya di Lestari yang Perahu Kertas juga udah ditranslate ke bahasa Inggris dan lumayan terkenal juga di luar negeri. Sebenarnya mungkin kita tuh mikir Indonesia itu nggak terlalu terkenal di luar negeri. Cuma sebenarnya kayak aku punya beberapa teman yang orang Korea dan tinggal di Korea, dan mereka bilang sebenarnya artis-artis kayak apa Raisa kayak Isyana gitu lagu-lagunya lumayan terkenal di Korea, cuma mereka nggak tahu aja orang itu tuh orang dari mana gitu loh.
Oh iya.
Jadi harus kayak apa sih, nge-promote lebih proud kalau mereka tuh orang Indonesia gitu, tapi nggak boleh over proud juga karena itu jadinya annoying gitu kan kalau over proud.
So berarti ada yang perlu dibenahi dari sisi membuat hingar-bingarnya.
Yes.
Ya istilahnya biar ini lebih buzzing gitu kan.
Iya.
Lebih menggema gitu loh. Ya, itulah PR bagi bangsa ini ke depan. Oleh karena itu kita harus menggali terus dan menggelorakan gerakan kesadaran nasional. Dan Nusantara Wave ini, kalau gue sih optimis ya. Kalau gue sih optimis untuk Nusantara Wave.
Iya.
Gue harus.
Iyalah, negara kita tuh banyak potensialnya kok.
Jiwanya terpanggil untuk melakukan Nusantara. Dan dalam novel Inverno ini kan terminologi bahasa Italia ya, bahasa Italia Inverno.
Iya.
Dan tadi juga kamu mention bahwa Inverno ini berkembang di kota yang dimention di situ adalah kota Florence kan.
Yes.
Florence Italia. Dan itu berangkat dari kesenian makna-makna yang melekat pada kesenian Romawi kuno. Saya melihat cover buku itu kan terlihat bahwa seseorang yang berasal dari Romawi, berasal dari Italia. Nah, Indonesia seharusnya juga mampu untuk menumbuhkan kesadaran, mempromosikan nilai-nilai dari kebudayaan lokal yang harusnya itu bisa di-spread ke negara-negara.
Ya, tapi itu benar sih, karena bahkan aku selama baca karya-karya Dan Brown itu, kayak dia tuh sering kayak masukin tempat-tempat kayak museum di beda-beda negara di novelnya, dan itu tuh bikin aku jadi nge-research tentang tempat itu supaya tahu lebih dalam tentang tempat itu kan. Sebenarnya kayaknya kalau famous writers di Indonesia kayak Andrea Hirata atau Di Lestari yang kayak gitu bisa bikin novel yang ngangkat tema budaya Indonesia dan bukunya itu bisa laku, itu sebenarnya bisa bikin orang-orang jadi lebih interested sama Indonesian culture gitu.
Iya, benar. Dan nanti akan bermuara pada tumbuhnya kelompok-kelompok di tataran dunia internasional yang fanatik dengan budaya kita. Ya katakanlah beberapa sudah ada gitu. Yang main gamelan gitu kan. Mereka juga bisa menjadi agent of spread Nusantara pada negara-negara lain dan pada dunia. That is my opinion.
Yes, I actually agree. Sebenarnya kayak sekarang banyak orang Indonesia yang sebenarnya aku juga sih, aku jadi peminat kayak culture negara-negara lain. Mungkin kayak sekarang yang lagi booming itu kayak K-pop atau kayak anime gitu-gitu. Padahal Indonesia juga punya banyak kayak karya yang serupa, cuma nggak dipromosiin aja gitu. Padahal bisa jadi terkenal juga, dan aku juga lagi nyoba nge-explore karya-karya lokal juga. Kayak ya aku juga ngerasa itu bagian dari responsibility aku lah sebagai warga negara Indonesia, kayak nge-promote apa sih culture dan karya-karya lokal itu, ya istilahnya bisa ngebantu negara kita juga.
Iya, benar. Dan tentunya orang-orang Indonesia harus meningkatkan apresiasi terhadap kesenian ya, terhadap kesenian, terhadap karya baik itu seni rupa dan seni apapun, kita harus meningkatkan apresiasi terhadap, ya mengangkat martabatnya. Jangan orang udah bikin karya udah bagus-bagus, itu dihargai dengan murah, tidak diperhatikan dan lain-lain. Kita harus mengapresiasi itu dengan lebih baik agar mereka juga termotivasi kan dalam terus berkarya.
Tapi
Halo, halo. Sepertinya ada sedikit gangguan teman-teman. Oke, koneksi kita terputus. Kita akan mengundang Sharon lagi. So, menarik sekali diskusi kita pada pagi menjelang siang hari ini. So, this is not only about the Inverno. Okay. Here we go again.
halo.
Ada sedikit gangguan ya di sinyal. Ada sedikit gangguan sinyal. Udah bisa dengar suara saya dengan baik? Bisa ya?
Mas Hafiz, can you hear me?
Yes,
Udah, Mas.
cuma agak buram
Wait.
gambarnya masih agak buggy.
Kayaknya mendingan aku nge-restart internet aku dulu deh. Soalnya ini kayaknya lumayan kayak parah gitu.
Oke. So, pemirsa semua, kita tunggu sejenak. Lagi fix problem di internet. So, diskusi kita pada hari ini tidak hanya tentang novel Inverno, tapi tentang Nusantara Wave. Nah, Nusantara Wave ini merupakan bentuk dari Indonesia, bentuk dari gerakan kesadaran nasional dalam rangka menyebarkan politik, ekonomi, serta kebudayaan Indonesia dalam multi aspek, sehingga Indonesia mampu mengayomi dunia-dunia lain, mampu mengayomi negara-negara di dunia, dan mewujudkan resolusi yang baik bagi dunia. Oke.
Halo, Mas.
Oke. Ini lebih baik.
Oke.
So, tadi kita udah nyampe mana?
Uh,
Lupakan jadi.
Kepotong ngomongnya soalnya. Ya, tapi kayaknya tadi aku lagi ngomongin tentang apa karya-karya novel Indonesia yang harusnya bisa lebih di-appreciate gitu deh.
Yeah. About the appreciation of arts. How is your opinion or your idea, your message to government to respect more or appreciation more to our artists in our country?
Gimana ya? Ini tuh cuma dari sisi writing doang sih, tapi yang aku tahu sampai sekarang itu masih ada beberapa kayak karya yang apa ya istilahnya karena mereka ngangkat topik yang terlalu berat dan sensitif gitu itu masih dibatasin edarnya gitu loh kayak jadi ini tuh kayak pembatasan freedom of speech juga kan karena ya istilahnya banyak novel yang kritik pemerintah gitu deh dan kayak it's still seen as like offensive I guess padahal sebenarnya as long as it's like said in a respectful manner itu harusnya bisa dipopulerin juga padahal aku nggak bakal sebut nama karyanya sih cuma aku kayaknya sekitar setahunan yang lalu aku baca Instagram post penulisnya kayak apa bukunya nggak bisa diedarin secara kayak publik gitu karena topiknya rada kayak gimana ya problematik gitulah jadi seharusnya kayak kita tuh dikasih lebih banyak freedom buat nulis kayak topik apa aja gitu karena ya kalau orang-orang kayak if people see it interesting itu bakal lebih banyak yang baca gitu contohnya aja Dan Brown kan dia sebenarnya topiknya tuh problematik banget cuma karena dia nyusun plotnya itu kayak interesting itu tuh jadi di-appreciate sama banyak orang dari berbagai negara bukan cuma kayak Itali bukan cuma US tapi ya kayak aku contohnya di Indonesia tapi aku juga interested sama novel dia jadi harusnya novelis Indonesia juga berani nulis tentang topik yang kayak gimana ya eye catching gitulah.
So, in other words, we can conclude that problematic is fantastic, right?
Yes. Aduh.
Yeah, same on media. On media, bad news is good news.
Yes.
Yes.
Kayak bad publicity is publicity.
Yeah. Terus pesan-pesan kamu untuk apa? Untuk rakyat Indonesia tentang menghargai kesenian Indonesia gimana kira-kira? Terutama di bidang novel ya, di bidang sastra, karya sastra.
Kayaknya kayak aku bilang tadi sih masih banyak orang yang kayak punya stereotype kalau novel-novel yang internasional itu kayak ya lebih interesting padahal sebenarnya novelis Indonesia itu cuma kurang dieksplor aja gitu loh. Padahal kalau kita benar-benar nyari itu banyak karya-karya yang kayaknya kayak istilahnya kayak hidden gem gitu loh. Kayak kalau kita ketemu tuh kayak bisa sampai suka banget sama ceritanya. Itu kayak aku sama Dia Lestari sih. Kayak aku nemu satu karya, terus aku jadi baca yang lain juga. Dan harusnya orang-orang tuh nggak tutup mata sama karya dalam negeri cuma karena mereka udah baca karya-karya luar negeri yang bagus. Padahal karya-karya Indonesia juga banyak yang istilahnya nggak kalah bagus sama yang di luar negeri gitu. Jadi harusnya kita boleh jadi peminat karya-karya luar negeri, tapi kita harus bisa appreciate karya lokal juga.
Yeah. Okay, nice. Terus menurut kamu, kira-kira cara Indonesia biar bisa jadi metodologis, biar Indonesia itu bisa jadi negara yang memang bisa spread Nusantara gimana?
Sebenarnya ini tuh harus di start sama orang-orang Indonesianya sendiri ya, kayak kalau kitanya sendiri nge-hype karya-karya Indonesia, ya gimana mau sampai ke luar negeri kan? Contohnya kayak K-pop deh. K-pop itu juga berawalnya orang-orang Koreanya sendiri kan, kayak lagu ini tuh viral di Korea, terus orang-orang Korea yang nge-promote supaya bisa go international gitu loh. Jadi nggak semuanya tuh bisa langsung loncat kayak, oh ini karya bagus, terus langsung di-discover sama orang luar negeri, kan nggak bisa kayak gitu kan. Jadi harus mulai dari orang Indonesianya sendiri yang bisa kayak nge-hype dan nge-appreciate apa karya-karya yang menurut kita yang patut buat dijadiin booming gitu lah.
Ya, kalau aku sih nyimpulinnya kita harus bisa bikin karya-karya seniman kita itu hingar-bingar sampai ke seluruh dunia. Karena Harry Potter dan Fantastic Beasts dan lain-lain itu mereka sudah duluan menguasai ruang-ruang publik di internasional, dan kita harus mengisi ruang-ruang publik tersebut dengan arti kata. Kita harus bisa memviralkan karya-karya sastra dari seniman-seniman kita. So, mungkin kita sudah sampai di penghujung acara. Sangat produktif ya, dari mulai tadi kita bicarain tentang Inferno secara mikro, ya kan. Kemudian kita berbicara tentang Nusantara Wave juga. So, menurut Sharon, kesimpulannya bagaimana? Or closing statement, your closing statement.
Sebenarnya aku tuh I decided to say yes to this karena I think this orang-orang juga harus maybe try to read works by Dan Brown, karena aku tahu beberapa orang yang pernah ngomong ke aku kayak sebenarnya dia mau baca buku-bukunya Dan Brown tapi takut kayak terlalu berat, susah dicerna gitu. Sebenarnya ya enggak juga, dan sebenarnya kalau kita udah baca kita bisa relate banyak theme dari novelnya ke real life kita gitu. Terus ya dari diskusi yang Nusantara Wave itu kita juga ya boleh kita discover foreign writers kayak Dan Brown, tapi kita harus tahu juga banyak writer Indonesia yang gak kalah saing lah sama Dan Brown, kayak Di Lestari ya. Aku udah repeat nama Di Lestari berapa kali di discussion ini. Tapi ya maybe you should try discovering Di Lestari juga, karena novel-novel dia juga bagus-bagus.
Oke. Oke ya, aku mau ngambil konklusi, take a conclusion in our discussion today. So, we have to respect our artists, our arts, and our history. We cannot respect, we cannot appreciate our history before we can connect it our history, we can solve the puzzle of our history. So see you next time in our discussion in Dialektik TV. Sampai jumpa di seri-seri berikutnya. Saya tutup. Wallahul muwaffiq ila aqwamit thoriq. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Bye guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mas.
Thank you, Sharon.